Okay, so there's been a story I really wanted to talk to you about regarding the Switch 2, and that is the recent theft in Colorado. It's not recent because it happened like almost 3 weeks ago at this point, but I just want to highlight the sheer incompetence of. Yes, we're gonna play as Nabbit today because this involves a heist, so we're going to change the rules. Okay, we're going to use this, and we're going to start by driving from Choco Mountain to Bowser's Castle. What a perfect fit, honestly. The first thing I want to ask is, why did GameStop use a third-party contractor to ship $1.4 million worth of Switch 2 consoles to the state of the third highest vehicle theft rate per capita? Like it was like some Funko Pops or low value merch. Yes, like GameStop has always had a history of not fulfilling pre-orders the day something comes out. Like even as far back as 2010, like I ordered Sonic Classic Collection in like February 2010, but it was supposed to come out on March 2nd, but I didn't receive my copy until the 3rd, so that was pretty awful, honestly, because GameStop had 15 years to master logistics, and in Asia, physical distribution was still the norm, which was 15 years ago. That was inexcusable. So, with that being said, oh great, it's probably not a good use of the gold mushroom, but remember like when GameStop stocks were trending? It was supposed to be a turning point for the company, but instead, nothing really changed. Sadly. Actually, GameStop has been getting worse these past few years because to tell you the truth, they closed all stores in my township, because they moved on to digital distribution. But what if you want a console like a Switch 2 or something? Now I cannot trust GameStop anymore. Like, I have a second difficult question to ask, and no one's asking these questions because no one's asking these questions. Second, why did it take Colorado state authorities 10 days to make the heist public? This is honestly a horrible excuse when you were dealing with $1.4 million worth of stolen cargo. Yet you see, you're going to mention the article later, but we just need to focus on taking down, Baby Rosalina. First. That was clutch, honestly. Okay. We're going to go over the article right now. Okay, we're gonna mute the audio and make sure that we unmute the audio after we're done with the so first I want to bring to your attention this article from 9 News. It's local media in Denver. A semi truck discovered theft during a pre-trip inspection at a Bennett truck stop. So they said a high dollar heist was discovered early this month. So they were a great fucking start because they admitted that they delayed like communications by 10 days. So 8 p.m. on June 8th at 1191 First Street in Bennett, according to the county sheriff's office. Again, it was reported, but not 100% sure because GameStop chose a shitty contractor that didn't invest in security to ship $1.4 million worth of Switch 2 consoles. They said at some point. Yeah, but Colorado is notorious for ineffective law enforcement. And it's going to GameStop's headquarters in Grapevine from Nintendo of America in Redmond. So you do not know what was in the trail, only that it was games or toys. Again, another breakdown of trust. Multiple pallets and cost of 10 was only just 410, well over 1 million. So there's a computer science professor at MSU Denver, so it could show up on eBay. It could even be sent outside the country without any like reprieve, even though they said they had to the dark web pretty quickly. But there are people, dark web buyers, who might be buying in Japan, so on spot to buy and sell is being a demand. It doesn't take long on dark web to spot low cost Switch 2s. It took me about Switch 2 2 minutes to find those consoles at half price. If you end up with a stolen unit, you have to ask Nintendo. Because when you log in, you have to register that number. That's how you play games, get updates, and tell you to track down your device. And they say you could brick the device and make it non-functional. You have to try and jailbreak it, essentially sidestepping the protections through coding, or avoid connecting to the internet altogether. And they're still working on trying to find the consoles, but in reality, given Colorado's soft on crime woke shit policies, they probably will never find it. So the investigators aren't sure whether it happened or in another city, but yeah, this is gross mismanagement at every level. Now, we also have car theft statistics. Colorado obviously has the third highest car theft rate per 100,000 people. Why is this relevant to trucks? Because it's the difference between driving home and driving through and sorry. Oh right. It's the difference between driving through and driving through safely and sleeping with I ran out of time, so and sleeping with a peace of mind versus worrying about getting your car stolen or something. And California has the highest rate of this trend. New Mexico has the second highest, and Colorado has the third highest. Like, it's definitely because we're going to read the editorial later, but regardless, not good luck for Colorado because Redmond, Washington is around here, so they have to drive through Idaho, then Wyoming, and then Colorado, and then Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, or Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas, depending on where you're going. Meanwhile, for Walmart, they just have to keep going on this road, and even though Minnesota has about 209.59 car thefts per 100,000 people, you just go down the Mimmel corridor, which consists of Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. So you have Arkansas here, which is where Walmart's headquarters is. And for Target and Best Buy, they have this. You just shift from Washington to Minnesota. Even though Minnesota has a pretty high car theft rate, it's still lower than Washington State. and California too. So yeah, read the editorial later. So let's go to the next race. So we had to go to Wario Stadium next, but yeah, and I'm also going to contact. I'm also going to also hold on. Let me just take a photo really quick. Nope, we're not done yet. I love how they're using the Bowser's Castle music from Mario Kart 8. It's very fitting, honestly. Of course, it's during transit between between Bowser's Castle and what is it? The other course was Wario Stadium. Kind of looks like one of the what is it? The knockout tours and so we did get someone with a blue shell, so it's like the landscape changes as you drive through the map. Let's do this and yeah, because a lot of truck stops did not invest in security at all. Which is an epic major fail for a state like Colorado. And on top of that, you have like when I was going back from Texas in 2022, I stopped at a Love's truck stop, thinking they were trustworthy, but in reality, they were playing freaking CNN at the truck stop, which at the time was parroting propaganda from the Democrat Party. Almost got hit there. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about the second look at the editorial. So, go view the replay, mute the audio, and show you the editorial. Hold on. Let's open up photo mode. Oh, I didn't set up the shortcuts, so let's open up the editorial and read what it is. Governor Jared Polis recently helped Colorado City dodge a bullet from the legislature, vetoing a bill that would have undermined the local crime fight. But he kickstarted the preview turned out to be short-lived. The absurdly misguided House and was taking up the same issue, state's highest court. So, criminal coddling legislature. Read that. Enhanced sentences, like, yeah. It was number one. Colorado has been buffet on the. So this is keep this paragraph in mind. Colorado has been buffeted by epidemic of crime. It was #1 in the nation for auto theft in 2022 and 2023. It was just ranked #2 on U.S. News and World Report's list of most dangerous states of 2025. And yet, their legislature, maybe their Supreme Court, they want to disarm their last line of defense. It's just law enforcement. And that's exactly what they did with the Switch 2 theft. And they were doing it because of criminal justice reform. When in reality, it's pandering to woke shit motherfuckers and Marxist-Leninists. It's a crime wave. I wouldn't say tsunami because the Noto Peninsula had a tsunami last year. Yes, because you cannot fix problems with woke shit policies like that. So with that being said, let's go to the next race. And it's not just this stuff too. You also have the Boulder attack, which happened exactly a week before it happened exactly a week before the Switch 2 truck theft. These are not random events. They're outcomes of systemic failure of the Colorado criminal justice system. And the readership, too. Colorado has become a hotspot for unchecked violence, from Molotov attacks on public streets to massive thefts like Switch 2. Hold on. I forgot to turn on the volume again. I gotta set up hotkeys for this game. Like the Switch 2 theft. It's because they did not check violence at all. These aren't isolated failures. They're highly systemic. And yet those woke shit motherfuckers keep thinking about like about racial justice or something. Well, anyways, it's important to note that racial justice is something that I would I stand behind, but not when it involves burning down neighborhoods, implementing Marxism-Leninism or something. Because all these, even last week's quote-unquote No King's Day protests, they were less about protesting Donald Trump and more about installing a Marxist-Leninist government in the United States at the federal level, which we actually had one under the Biden-Harris dictatorship. I really need to work on using items in this game, but regardless. Okay, now we just gotta try to get good while when drifting here, so... Uh-oh. I'm gonna end up in second again here. I really need to work on this course. I really do, honestly. Well, maybe that's my karma for just ranting about another state's politics on stream. Well, I'm not sure we should reply or continue, but I'll just continue. But you do know my frustration, regardless. So, we also gotta talk about the accusations made against me on another stream, because we seriously do not have time to cover it. I'm now dead. Because, or maybe we'll talk about it now. Because people made accusations against me for calling out how broken the Switch 2 lottery system is. Because even if you don't go in from the My Nintendo store, there's still scalpers who want to like go after your who will still go after stock, which is why, although in a Kanto Koshin region, which is basically Tokyo and the surrounding areas in Japan, they are now seeing restocks of Switch 2 Japan domestic only models. But let me tell you, people are calling it calling that model the standard model, while they're calling the multilingual model the multilingual model. Sorry, but I don't buy that bullshit. I'd rather call the multilingual model the true standard model, while the standard, well, what people in Japan are calling the standard model is the Japan only model. Yeah, people are people are so tone deaf, honestly, both in the West and in Japan. Like, that did not help scalpers at all, honestly. And you know what measures Nintendo is going through to just censor? To like as for anti-scalping, they decide to use enhanced telemetry and console bans as well, which means that oh, I almost missed the glider ramp. Oh, great. At least they dodged the lightning, so I can just go a little bit. So I can finish the course with a little better peace of mind. Okay, so not only are they banning consoles because of what is it? Yeah, because it was scalped, but now they're tying the fucking receipt or order invoice to the console. Like, this is worse than what Microsoft or Sony is doing. As proof, my cousin bought me a PS5 in Canada, and I was able to register that in Canada. And then I was still able to use it in the United States without any problems. So if Sony's not going this far, then why isn't Nintendo going this far? It's one thing to do it for theft, but it's another thing to do it if people legitimately buy multiple of them and then resell the rest to marketplaces like eBay. Now, I'm against scalping too, but you should not give scalpers your money regardless, so. And this highlights what I call this. This quote from Edward Snowden. I had to bring him up after 5 years since I used to affiliate him with the Kremlin, but it turned out not to be true, so when exposing a crime, which is what I'm doing, is treated as committing a crime, you're being ruled by criminals. And that's exactly what's happening with the Switch 2. That's exactly what's happening with the Switch 2. Because I might get my Nintendo Switch 2 banned just for covering this. I might get my YouTube account banned just for covering this. I might, I might be arrested by Colorado state authorities for pointing out the blatant theft that they have allowed, as well as the attacks they have allowed in Boulder just 3 or 4 weeks ago. Because under the current trajectory, even with gubernatorial term limits, if Colorado does not keeps voting for the same old, then the state will become a desolate wasteland. I'm not kidding. So, yeah, that's it for today's stream.